because what happened was I was listening to the streaming. It was wonderful history for our people to understand where we are. So Radio Biafra is always on 247. I came in, and this morning what I intend to do is I have a clip that I'm going to air. This clip does not have anything to do with us as Biafrans directly, but it has to do with us as a people, as humans. Dele Farutimi did a very, very wonderful historian job here, and I need us to listen to it. Actually, because the time is up, it's about 7 o'clock in the morning here in the United States of America. It's the top of the hour. So what I need to do is I'm going to be airing what Rotimi is saying, but if you have any information that you wish to, give out, you can call the number here, and they will take your call. Don't forget a very, very important broadcast that is coming in on the first day of January 2025 from our head of the US, Mazi Iyke Peters, will be on air. The time will be 1 p.m. Biafra land time, which is exactly this hour on the first day of January. So we have to be here to make sure that we listen to it. It's a very, very scintillating broadcast. It's waking us up, the new year, according to the calendar, the new year, the 2025, first day of January, that's when he's doing it. For me, my new year is the day I was born. That's the day I started my own year. I don't entertain the general one, but the law says we have to, and we have to, put something in uniform. So let's listen to Dele Rotimi. This is a very, very interesting broadcast that he said he did, and I want you to listen to it, please. It's very important that we understand where he is going and his mind, the way his mind is set up. Okay, let's see.
The Igbo man is the lowest in that hierarchy, unfortunately so, but that is the reality.
I better start
guy,
from the top.
mascot, if he was an Hausa or a Fulani man, in the hierarchy of Nigerian impunity, the Igbo man is the lowest in that hierarchy, unfortunately so, but that is the reality. If that guy, mascot, if he was an Hausa or a Fulani man, we would not be united in condemnation of his evil. We would have been distracted by his ethnicity or religiosity, and we would have been debating that. If the king of Nigeria, who is sat within the city limit in Aso Rock, were to be a man from the Delta, when they brought the lepers to court in Abuja on Friday, Arewa would have gone crazy. But we have Mumu, Muslim. Nobody can preach about it, and everybody is suddenly silent. Let me say this.
Welcome back to Iyke React. I don't come again with another trending topic in Nigeria. As you can see on this trending video, Mr. Dele Farutimi.
See, I wish you to listen to this fellow Dele Farutimi. It's wonderful. He's thinking, and I want you to think. I want you to think with him, please.
Mr. Alex, we'll be saying a House of Rep member and an Uber driver as an example. You guys remember say very dark man being called Mr. Alex out for the problem when him being get with an Uber driver. We'll be saying Nigerians drag the man, and the man let us say sorry. You guys remember the story, right? So he's trying to say that if the man were to be from other tribes, say they no go drag the man like that, say Nigerians no go come unite together, come they face the man. You understand? So this particular video now don't they make waves for social media, and many people don't they talk plenty talk concerning this particular matter. So I go like make you drop your own opinion concerning this topic now for comment section, and also like this video to recommend it to more people so that they will also drop their own opinion on the comment section. Remember to subscribe if you are new to this channel.
8 weeks ago, I used that title to speak with my usual audience, but I found that there is a lot more to that needs to be unpacked, and this was the subject of my discussion with Daddy when I was out of the country, and he graciously invited me to speak here today. So I held on to it again, and I believe that the verse that we have read to a very large extent, explains it. Usually, every time I've been here, there's been a gentleman who would usually sit there. Daddy will remember him. He was my friend, Ademola Adeshina Ogunlano. It pleases God to call him home 10 days after his 60th birthday, but his death brought home the urgency of now. You know, we always have this assumption that we have forever and that we are going to be living for a long time. And in our assumption of immortality, we rarely remember the biblical verse that tells us to number our days. Numbering your days is a way of reminding you of the fact that you are mortal and you will at some point, hopefully in the fullness of time, in your dotage, go on to glory. But nobody guarantees the length of days. So there is always an urgency to now. And that urgency is what has forced me to take another look at where we are, because almost on a daily basis, Facebook will bring one memory of Ogunlano or the other to me, because we shared a lot in common. And I saw all the things that he applied himself to, the selfless life that he lived. But I also could not help but remember the fact that he had plans running into years from now. He was a perfectly healthy man. He never slept a day in the hospital, but he's gone. He is gone. I woke up yesterday to find news of another person gone. We were in university together. He also had plans. So it became clear to me that this illusion that forces us to keep postponing needs to be challenged. But our own situation as a people, more urgent attention, not reactions. Reactions come about when things happen and you quickly run away. Maybe somebody shoots a banger in here now, so we all react. You don't plan for reactions. You simply do what comes natural to you in that moment. But responses, on the other hand, are slightly different. Responses means that you have enough time to plan what you should do. At least you have sufficient time to act without panic and in a reasonable or reasoned manner, regardless of the situation that you are confronted with. I'll bring all of this to our scripture, because how does this concern us as a people? The totality of my life's focus is about securing a future for the Nigerian child. My own is completely selfish. I don't know you, but I know the children that I have at home. I know all the other children that are connected to me in one way or the other, and I look at that future and I am scared. So I looked at the totality of our situation, and this scripture came to mind. It was the story of the lepers that came to mind, because I found it disturbingly analogous to the Nigerian situation, even though we sometimes do not seem to realize just how much our situation is analogous to that in that story. We are the lepers. Let me let that sink in. We are the lepers in that story. If you notice, I didn't say I am. I didn't say you are. I said we are the lepers. Nobody is born leprous. Leprosy is acquired after birth. I know you all tell yourself one very common lie. The commonest lie in Nigeria is your claim to citizenship. You tell yourselves that you are citizens, but it is a lie. It is only those who enjoy the immunity of impunity that are capable of enjoying Nigeria. If you do not have impunity, the capacity to live above the ambit of the law, you are a leper. Lepers were taken before the court in Abuja. Just, I think, a couple of days ago. Or was that yesterday? No, it was on Friday. They took lepers to a court in Abuja. And you know by law, if you go to the book of Leviticus, lepers are treated as being separate. Because if they were not separate, they should have equal access to justice. And I am sure that nobody should be required to tell a judge who is sworn to protect the weak that those are citizens, if they were citizens. Once upon a time, there was the delusion of citizenship in Nigeria, and that was before the leprosy of immunity or impunity meant that those who should be above the law are within the city gates. They are out, they are inside the city limits. Inside, they are in the city. The lepers, they were at the gate. Those are the ones excluded by society. And if you thought that was all, I'll remind you that those who were killed at Lekki Toll Gate, they were also lepers. That is why the society has continued to pretend that they did not exist, in spite of a judicial pronouncement of a massacre. So, lepers. The theme of leprosy, I know it might sound shocking to you, but the reality is that what makes the Nigerian a leper is the fact that he is excluded. The only thing that includes everybody is the rule of law. When the law does not rule, when you have exceptions, those exceptions can only be explained by something. Okay. If we ask ourselves, exactly what is the effect of leprosy? One of the first things that you notice with leprosy is that the leper's digits begins to fall off. So his capacities becomes limited. He can't even, Yorubas have a proverb, they say, abere bolo adete odete. It means that the needle fell off from the leprous finger, and now he has no way of picking it up. So it becomes a quandary. That is the situation with the Nigerian. You go abroad, you are separated. They separate you at airports. Within Nigeria, the policeman looks at you like our dishonorable mascot. He looked at a boat driver. The average boat driver in Nigeria is a university graduate. 90% of the boat and Uber drivers in Nigeria, if not more, are university graduates or dropouts who could no longer afford to go to school because the system simply failed them. And then a person who says that he's a sworn representative, and you know the beauty of that situation, for a long time lepers have had difficulties in identifying themselves in Nigeria. You have the lepers of Yoruba Ronu, who thinks is different from the lepers of Biafra. And then you have the lepers of Katsina, the Fulani peasant, who you will blame for all the woes of the South. So the lepers have had difficulties identifying themselves, and they have been busy fighting in the army of their enslavers. Now, mascot, who assaulted the boat driver, he is Igbo. In the hierarchy of Nigerian impunity, the Igbo man is the lowest in that hierarchy, unfortunately so, but that is the reality. If that guy, mascot, if he was an Hausa or a Fulani man, we would not be united in condemnation of his evil. We would have been distracted by his ethnicity or religiosity, and we would have been debating that. If the king of Nigeria, who is sat within the city limit in Aso Rock, were to be a man from the Delta when they brought the lepers to court in Abuja on Friday. Arewa would have gone crazy. But we have Muslim. Nobody can preach about it, and everybody is suddenly silent. Let me say this. When we allow ourselves to ignore the fact that everything we hate, we also fear, then it becomes easy to recruit us into the armies of our oppressors to begin to fight on behalf of those who have enslaved all of us. I'll show you. A few months ago, a certain cross-dresser in this town was arrested for spraying money. There are numerous videos online where you find obas, politicians, governors, even presidents, ex-presidents spraying money. But of course, EFCC is not meant for the like of them. It is the lepers that the EFCC must find. And of course, who is more leprous than the one who does not look like you? So, we were all pressed into service in 18 Bobrisky to the point where we ignored that the law that was enforced against him is ignored in relation to others. Bobrisky, which is a paradox for Nigeria, the country we have all built, was now meant to go to jail. But of course, since the jail in Nigeria is meant for the poor and the weak, Bobrisky was able to assess the levels of injustice that is available to non-lepers. So he equalized with money. And then you begin this hypocritical belly aching that has run from the bowels of the disgraceful National Assembly, and they are having all kind of circuses, and we are all entertained, and we ignore that if it was available to the person we don't like, in relation to which we are now bleating, it was available to the murderers who could afford it. It was available to the armed robbers who could afford it. It was available to the kidnapper who could afford it. It was available to each and every one of the persons who could either afford it or who are members of the non-leprous class, whom the class is punishing and are sent to Kirikiri or other correctional or in-correctional centers. The important thing that we all need to understand in this case is that there is a commonality to this affliction that we forget when we convince ourselves to embrace the hatred by which we have been divided. Who are the Syrians? At least, I think by around verse 5, they start telling us about how the Syrians' tents were there. So, who are the Syrians? The Syrians are your fears. The Syrians are the hatreds. All the things that you have used to divide yourselves, those are the Syrians. Everything that we desire as a collective, because I doubt that there is anything the Yoruba wants that the Igbo man does not want, or that the Ijaw man does not want, or that the Fulani man would dislike. We all want the same thing, but we are failing to see the commonalities. The Syrians represent our fears. Everything we desire is at the other side of our fears. Your fears also encapsulate your hatred. Like I said earlier on, it is impossible to love something and hate it. But you cannot ever fear anyone or thing without hating that thing. It is only God that you may fear. And I say this, myself and Daddy have had this discussion before. The proper word is not fear. You don't fear God. You reference him. Is referential awe. Respect, deep respect for his capacities, because it comes from you knowing him. You know what he can do. So you respect, venerate, aim. You don't fear God. It is reference, not in the fear of God. You are trembling. Even if you tremble before God, it's out of reference, not out of fear of injury. So let us be clear. It's at the other side of our fears, of our hatred. If you look at 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7 to be specific, that's 2 Timothy it says, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. You know, it is impossible for you to have the soundness of your mind and embrace hatred. It is impossible. It is simply impossible. If you have retained the soundness of your mind, the only thing that might happen to you when you are confronted with a phenomenon is curiosity. You are curious. That's why you see Oyibo, when they run into something strange, they want to capture that thing, they want to study it. You know what we will do? If we are not casting and binding, we are finding the kumo with which we will kill that thing, because we are fearful. We have embraced the spirit of fear, and that spirit of fear also predisposes us to hatred. So anything that does not look like us, we are afraid of it, and we cover our fear with the veneer of hatred, because it's easier to confess hatred than to confess ignorance. The average person that you are hating on, whether it's the Yoruba Pono faction of our country, whether it's the Arewa supremacist, whether it's the Biafran must go, whoever you are in Nigeria, our problems are the same. Exactly the same. It is in now recognizing that these problems are the same that we can now form alliances that leads us out of where we are. If you've ever seen ants, thank you. When you see ants in floods, when there are floods, you'll find that ants build bridges. They knot themselves together, they join together to build bridges, and then others will climb on top of them and they all cross. And I did a social experiment in my house. I asked my wife to witness it one day. You know, when you see column of ants, and I can be a very curious person in spite of my age, I'm still a child. So I picked up a lighter one day and I burnt them. I'm sorry to confess, may God forgive me. So, and then I came back later on and I discovered that I couldn't find a single one. I was curious. I told my wife. So I did it a second time. I'm very curious. And then this time around, I saw that it was the hands themselves that were coming back to pick their dead. If you don't believe me, try it on your own. But even more curiously, this morning a friend sent me a scientific fact. Something said by Sir David Attenborough, and I want to share it with you so that I'll further explain this theme of finding common purpose. Sir David Attenborough said this. He said, biologists say that trees are social beings. They can count, learn, and remember. They nurse sick members, warn each other of danger by sending electrical signals across a fungal network, and for reasons unknown keep the ancient stumps of long-felt companions alive for centuries by feeding them a sugar solution through their roots. I'll share this with Daddy. That's Sir David Attenborough, one of the foremost nature scientists in the world. Now, this is what when I read that piece, what scared me is the fact that trees that we would refer to as inanimate objects, they understand the need to synergize. They do not think or believe that they are alone. They understand the need for everybody to work together as a collective. I look at us, especially we Nigerians, and even more particularly our siblings, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers who live in the diaspora. I sometimes hear them complaining about the racism in the countries in which they reside. And I am amazed that they could simply not recognize that the racist is merely the superior cousin of the tribalist. If you cannot accommodate the Igbo in your space, or you could not accommodate the Yoruba in your space, or you think the Fulani man is your problem, how do you say anything about the racist? The racist at least has the excuse of skin pigmentation. What's your own? So, the biggest problem of the lepers would appear to be an inability to recognize themselves. Now, they didn't tell us that the lepers went in different direction. The scripture is clear. Although some scriptures, some Bible students will tell us that these were the children of Geas and his children. But it still does not explain the fact that they found the grace to act in concert. They moved as one. Two did not say, let's go into the city. They didn't remember this. In spite of the fact that they were lepers, they were not stopped from entering the city. They could have entered. So because you are carrying a Nigerian passport does not mean you are a Nigerian citizen. They could enter the city. They simply could not enjoy the privileges of others. So let's be clear, you can enter the city as Nigerian, you have your NIN, you even have BVN, you carry your passport. In fact, they asked you to go to your local government to get confirmation of your leprosy, and you did. Oh, sorry, your citizenship, and you did. So, the only problem is that the lepers are not recognizing themselves. And you know what makes the situation even worse for the lepers? You can't vote your way out of your leprosy. Okay, you don't believe me? Go and ask the people who pretended to vote in Edo, and they will tell you what their experiences were. So in case you forgot the lessons learned in February 2023, I remember I was here and I urged all of you to register to vote. We did all of that, remember? And you should get you remember now we said it that we did all of that, but of course we didn't. Even I was unaware of the fact of my leprosy. See, the fact of our situation is that the ones who need to get it into our heads that all the things that we are using to divide ourselves do not divide those who have divided us and who are the ones profiting from where we are. But I can tell you all about the fact that we are the lepers. I can tell you all about the fact that the Syrians are our fears. I could even and is most definitely not a Christian song, but it's a godly song because it does preach directly from the scriptures. It says, "Ṣèyí tó ṣe ọ̀rẹ́ mi ọjọ́ ń lọ. Ṣèyí tó ṣe ọ̀rẹ́ mi ọjọ́ ń lọ. Èyí tó bá ṣe là ó ròyìn. Ṣèyí tó ṣe ọ̀rẹ́ mi ọjọ́ ń lọ." I would interpret for you. He says, "Do what you will, for time is far gone." That's all he's saying. Ṣèyí tó ṣe ọjọ́ ń lọ. We can stay in our state of leprosy until we die, and then our children will inherit it. And you know the amazing thing about this sickness, Daddy even alluded to it when he was speaking earlier on. He said, "Truth dies in darkness." When a lie endures for so long and the sufferers become complicit in the erection and maintenance of that lie can actually become the truth in the consciousness of the victims. So each and every one of you, I'm speaking to you as my fellow lepers. I recognize the fact of my leprosy. I'm a Nigerian. That's why I'm always careful to explain that I'm not a citizen. I'm a victim of Nigeria. It is the grace of God that has kept one from the grave up till this point. 6 years ago, almost to the exact day, I was sent to prison by a court in this country for life in the service of a church in this city. But the grace of God is what has kept me here, and I was freed. No, hold on, please. The point I'm trying to make to all of us is this. If we do not recognize the fact of the commonality of our victimhood, if you continue to think that those who voted Bulaba deserve their punishment and you don't want anything to do with them, you can't even bring yourself to show mercy to them as Christians, how do you bring yourself together to fight the evil? Okay, so you know the truth, but they are so ignorant because they have embraced hatred that they do not know the truth. How have you, as Christians, shown? A vast majority of my Oriental brothers and sisters live in this neighborhood. You have borne the brunt of the madness that has overtaken our country, and you will see more as we are drawing closer, because for them the election cycle has started. The election cycle has nothing to do with your votes. They don't care. They've written the result already. But having written the result, they need you to now begin to divide yourselves. You need to be told to ignore the pains in your bellies, the hunger. You must forget it. And for you to forget it, they must give you hatred to embrace. And I saw a piece in the paper, I think sometime this past week, and I know that they have started the race. You know what I saw? Ajeromi Felodun local government published a list of streets they were renaming in Ajegunle. And I saw how they are attempting to whitewash history and pretend that there is certain ethnic group do not exist in that neighborhood. And I laughed. But I also know that it will require the complicity of good men and women who elect to embrace hatred for that madness to endure. I have lived in the Lekki axis for at least about 22 years. I have been associated with that axis for over 30 years. I know the area well. The names on our streets, and I'm just using this to illustrate so that you understand the insidious nature of the evil that has overtaken our country. The names on the streets in the entirety of the Lekki Peninsula.
Welcome to IPOB Rapture Media video, April 25th, 2024. What if the arms you sell are being used not to combat terrorism, but to fuel it? How would you feel? This is the question that hovers in the minds of the indigenous people of Biafra, or IPOB, as we raise concerns over the arms sales to the Nigerian government. We express that these weapons, intended to safeguard a nation, are instead being used to perpetuate violence and unrest. The IPOB, led by the indomitable Mazi Iyke, clarify that the Nigerian government is not utilizing these arms to combat terrorism, as they claim. Instead, we certify that these weapons have been deployed against peaceful communities, causing untold harm and displacement. These are facts that present a chilling picture of a government that has weaponized its military resources against its own people, rather than the terrorists they profess to fight. This situation raises a fundamental question about the ethics of arms sales and the responsibility of nations supplying these arms. The gravity of this matter cannot be underestimated. Lives hang in the balance. To understand this issue, we must first travel back in time. Let's rewind to the year 2021, when the Tucano jets first arrived in Nigeria. These jets, equipped with cutting-edge technology and lethal firepower, were heralded as Nigeria's formidable weapon in the fight against terrorism. However, the reality that unfolded was starkly different. The Nigeria government, instead of using these jets to combat terrorist groups in northern Nigeria, turned these weapons against its own people. The targets were not the terrorists who operated in the open, but innocent peaceful communities and internally displaced people's camps, which were supposed to be safe havens for those fleeing violence and terror. In the eastern region, the jets were deployed not to secure, but to terrorize. The peaceful Igbo villages in the Olu local government area of Imo State bore the brunt of these attacks. For 2 long years, from 2021 to late 2023, these jets were never used against the terrorists they were meant to fight. Instead, they were consistently used in bombing innocent people in Imo State, in the eastern part of the country, in Biafra land. The ID camps in the north, full of victims of Boko Haram terrorist attacks, were not spared either. These camps, already struggling with the aftermath of violence, were further devastated by the intentional attacks, were not spared either. These camps, already struggling with the aftermath of violence, were further devastated by the intention
Yo, Greetings to our listeners. This is Radio Biafra USA. We are coming to you through Radio Biafra London and IPOB Community Radio, directed by Our Excellency Mazi Iyke. My name is Mazi Iyke. Today is December 30th, 2024. The year is coming to an end. Tomorrow will be the last year of 2024. Our leader, Mazi Iyke, is still unceremoniously being held, renditioned, because he is a man of principle, a man schooled to tell the truth. In an environment where truth is the crime for you to commit, that to be in prison, Nigeria is a place. Our people need to hear from different sources. You enslaved yourself. You enslaved yourself because you've been enslaved. And you know very well that you have been enslaved. And all the evidence and papers supporting it shows that you have been enslaved. And then with your position, they say you have been enslaved and at the same time you're under slavery. You are educated. You are intelligent, I suppose. And the person who knows that he is intelligent and educated took a stand and vowed and said, I will not be enslaved. Let my people go. You detain him. And today, I'm not going to condemn a whole race. There are some that understand what is happening, and they are beginning to question it. Why too long? It took that length of time because they planted divisiveness, they planted hatred, divide and rule, culturally planted. And most of us trying to get away from it, we are brainwashed. Yes, we had no other choice. Then coupled with the fact that evidence, things that are happening, buttresses the belief that most of us have about other races. And not when they hate you and they say it openly. And they act and do missions perpetrated against you shows that you are hated. But when you have some of them that come to tell you that you are a slave, you have been enslaved. And this is why we've been preaching at Radio Biafra. This is what we say every day. And we have these thieves who call themselves politicians, hide under political activities to tell you they are working for you. How can they work for you? Outside Mazi Iyke from Biafra land, excuse me, who else is talking? Just mediocre statements being made by some people. That's all you can get. And people believe that they are talking to you. Just listen to this man. I'm not going to say who is, whether Yoruba or not Yoruba, but listen to him. And then you ask yourself, how come you're still answering Nigeria? I have asked that question 1,000 times. Because each time I come here, I ask you, why do you still bear that name Nigeria? And I told you, any day they remove that name Nigeria, that will be the end of Nigeria.
Fantastic. 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 You know something? In every day of this our life we are living, we learn everything. It is actually shocking that it's official that I've understand that most of Nigerians don't even know that Nigeria is a British property. Actually, for me, it's shocking. I was thinking that we all know that we were somebody's property. I didn't know that most Nigerians, up to 70% of Nigerians don't know that they are property of British. It's very shocking. Wow. Every day we learn. Actually, I'm learning now that Nigerians don't even know this. Listen, Nigerians. British as a country bought you. They bought you for $1.1 million. British bought you. British own you as a whole country. They own you. They own everything in Nigeria. That's why everything in Nigeria that you want to do today, you will negotiate with the British, because you are actually their property. British own you. The reason why Nigeria cannot move forward today is because the British want Nigeria to remain like that.
Listen to that statement. I will push it back a little bit, and I will come back to it. This is question of, is it the messenger or the message? Is the issue here the messenger or the message? Listen to it.
Every day we learn. Actually, I'm learning now that Nigerians don't even know this. Listen, Nigerians. British as a country bought you. They bought you for $1.1 million. British bought you. British own you as a whole country. They own you. They own everything in Nigeria. That's why everything in Nigeria that you want to do today, you will negotiate with the British, because you are actually their property. British own you. The reason why Nigeria cannot move forward today is because the British want Nigeria to remain like that. It is their property.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you. You want to remain like that. You want to remain like that. Because when you cannot tell yourself the truth, people are telling you the truth and you are hating them because they are not of the same tribe with you. They are not of the same tribe with you. I'm not a British property. October 1, they said you're free. to be a country. October 3, 1963, they said you're a republic to govern yourself. And they still imposed the name Nigeria. What about Ghana? What about all those colonized countries? They left. Ghana is of recent even moving forward. You want to bring this history up and down. It's a fact. But when you give up the slaves, when you abolish the slaves, you don't own me. I have the right. It is the foolishness of Nigerians not to move forward because they don't want to move forward. They used Igbos to tie everybody down. They used Igbos as a means to propagate and strengthen their colony, which they said they have relinquished. And how did they do it? They use the politicians. When you were conducting your election, what did Jeremy Hunt tell you? You are a giant of Africa. Yeah, he came and told you you're a giant of all of us. Yeah, we're a giant of Africa. It is your inability to reason, to analyze issues and say this is and this is not. That's what you want to do. If the Duduas, as they have the chance to declare themselves free, Britain is not going to fight them. Now they use the Fulanis to subdue you and spread their religion. You assisted the Fulanis. And whereas you say the Igbos are your problems, the Igbos are your problems, then let them go. No. You will not let them go. Then how much more can you blame Britain? You want to conduct election, you go to Chatham House. What if you say, no, we are free, we are not coming to Chatham House? What will they do? When Igboho went to Downing Street to say we are ready to go, why did he go there? Is to let them know, hey, look, we have age. How many people back to Igboho up? Whether be a Biafran, whether be a Fulani. It's a state of confusion where people know what to do, how to do it, when to do it, but they don't want to do it. Why are you still bearing that name, Nigeria? Let's continue with our guy making the statement. I just want you to listen.
Nigeria to move forward today means that British have to fall. Why don't you guys understand these things? It's actually shocking. And the second part of it is that most of Nigerians don't even know that we don't have one passport in Nigeria. I am very surprised that people don't know these things. What I used to know about Nigerians is that Nigerians don't love to eat. But what about Google? Gulu is there for you guys. Everything is there for you. Nigeria was bought. It is there. Nigeria have 3 passports. Three, not one, not 2, 3 passports. And these 3 passports, one is the normal one that every Nigerian have. The second one is another type of passport. The third one is another type of passport. All those people working for British company called Nigeria, they have different passports with you. They are not equal with you. We are all slaves to the British. We are all slaves to the British. Even the politicians are slaves to the British. everybody is a slave to the British. The British own you. That's why before election, they will run to Britain to sign document. That is why British, when we want to conduct election, they will come in our land and stay down to make sure that who they want is there. When the British are conducting their own election, do you go there? The syllabus was given to us by British. The judiciary system by British, political system by British, educational system is Western educational system. What do you don't know? Everything in Nigeria today is owned by the British. That's why you see the judiciary are wearing that white wig. The wig is symbolizing that we are still under British. What do you guys don't understand?
Because you want it to be so. Why are you waking up now? We have mentioned this. It's not news. It's nothing new. You put it in another format, which I said, no, I disagree with you. You cannot justify why we have to be under slavery. We have every opportunity to get away from it. And to justify what you're saying, have you called for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Have any of you followed the steps of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Showore is somewhere shouting. Ibohe is somewhere shouting. And the policies of your people are those of betrayal. And you're telling me you want to be a slave. That's why you continue to be in the same situation. The Caribbeans are wondering what's wrong with their brothers in the zoo. The Caribbeans are crying. The Caribbeans are making comments. Their hope is on Nigeria. But Nigeria is disappointing them. Blacks all over the world have hope in Nigeria. And this is why they are clamping down on Nigeria. And then the Nigerians themselves are assisting their oppressors. Tinubu is a case in point. Acting like he doesn't know what is happening. Somebody speaking as a president, but it's not him that is speaking. Somebody is speaking through him. Somebody is making directives through him, but he is there as a president. Nobody's talking. Look at your military. I tell you have so much educated people in the military that you wonder why they cannot be able to understand the situation in Nigeria. Rather, they are part and parcel of Nigeria's problem. You have the case of Shetima and the other guy, the army chief. You had their case. Let's deal with this guy first.
Sign African man with wearing wig. What? I'm really shocked to know that most Nigerians don't know that they are property of the British. And the most ironic part of it is that you cannot go to that country that owns you. You cannot go there. You cannot go there. For you to go there, you need at least your capital to be more than 20 million naira for you to go there, for you to travel there. You see the irony of British. British is one of the worst countries on the world today because they invaded most countries in the world and took them to be their colony. You know the meaning of colony. You guys start to use Google. Colony means in simple terms or in layman terms that I own you. You belong to me. I can use you and do whatever I want. That is colony. The British own Nigeria. It is their business. The constitution of Nigeria is a program that was given to Nigerians by the British. Everything you see, the politicians, you think the politicians don't love good roads, you think they don't love steady electricity, you think they don't love water, they love all these things, but the system will not allow them to do it. The system allows them only to steal money and useless the money. That is why you see them steal money and put it in soccer away. You think they are dumb? They are not dumb. The system makes it that way. Nothing supposed to work in Nigeria. Wake up, Africans. Wake up. Most of you don't know these three simple countries that are trying to wake their ass up. They are the same country that they want to use other countries to bring down. Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. Africans, listen to me. You were not there when they divided you and gave you borders. You were not there. You must wake up. Awareness is more important. Africans need to do two things. We need to create more awareness for Africans to wake up. Then the second thing, continue multiplying. Don't stop giving birth. Every African man must make at least 10 babies. At least. That is the only way you can. Fantastic.
You can make 100 babies. Do they have the brain? Is the point. How many babies are the British making? One. Their first order of instruction is make sure you oppress the black person. You see that country is filled with resources. Make sure you don't give them chance. Make sure that whenever they want to stand up, they cannot be able to make decisions on their own. And that boy will get up and tomorrow will run for political office in Britain, and then will come to you to tell you to shut up. When Katrina Lang came, she gave you instructions. How old is Katrina Lang? She was all over your kitchen. How many of the Katrina Langs did you? How many are there in the family? It is the quality, not the quantity. Jeremy Hunt came. How old is Jeremy Hunt? Boris Johnson came. How old is Boris Johnson? All of you together. As a case in point, Emmanuel Macron came and gave Tinubu order. Tinubu took the order. And lied to you. And you see this question of inferiority complex. That's all it is. You wait for Britain to come and give you instruction. If you are who you are, you will say no. Burkina Faso, Mali, Chad, Senegal, now followed by Ghana and other countries, they say no, we've had enough. Now what is Tinubu doing? Tinubu went to bring the rejected country oppressor to you. How many of you have stood up to ask Tinubu a question? No, nobody, nothing, nobody. And they gave you a label that he is an agent. How many of you have asked Tinubu, how come are you an agent to be the president of Nigeria? And there's no country you can put up such an allegation, they will not pursue it. As fast as possible with all resources available. And nothing, everybody kept quiet. Just like you're keeping quiet, we are telling you there's nothing like Nigeria. We told you about the Royal Niger Company. We have been saying it, singing it like a song. And now today you're bringing it like it's something new. It is not something new. I simply played it to let you people know that some people know what is happening, but they don't know which way to go. And he that knows which way to go, they are holding him. And you're not saying release this man. You're telling me born babies you cannot feed. That's why I ask you, is it the message or is it the messenger? What message are you bringing? Or are you coming out as a messenger to tell us what we already know, but you try to put it across in a different way that we wonder why what you're saying? Africa make more babies. To me, it does not make sense. It is not the quantity, it's the quality. You have so many people that cannot. You don't listen to Radio Biafra. That same hatred. Even most of you don't even know what we're talking about. When you have a soldier, a Nigerian soldier, in full military uniform, carrying gun up and down, getting to what do they call them? National security something. Implementing the order given by their commander. A military person chose to protect a Chinese man. Civil defense. How can you progress? How can you move forward? When you have people with that mentality from their own region, and not just their region, in the Biafra land, you have people with that colonial mentality. And you see, I still keep hammering inferiority complex, nothing more, nothing less. The day you recognize yourself, the day you have pride in yourself, the day you can stand up and say, no, I cannot go through this anymore. The Burkina Fasos did it. They are still breathing. And France is running helter-skelter from one dark corner to a lightened corner. And where does he land? In Nigeria. The same evil, devilish company called Royal Niger Company. Americans have told you that you are a business, you are not a country. America have told you that Nigeria is a business, not a country. I ask you a question, why do you still have that name, Nigeria? Why are you still bearing it? We have nothing in common. And they come and tell you that your diversity is your strength, and you believed it wholeheartedly. How come? Where are the learned men? Until we wait for Professor Gololo to come and tell you that you are an idiot. Then you believe. You wait for somebody to tell you. When your brother tells you, it's nothing, you don't regard it. Your brother talks to you, is it? I know who you are. And I know your mother. I know your father. I know your brother. I went to school with your brother. I was in the same class with your mother. Is that the issue? That is not the issue. You diverted the issue to attack the individual, to berate that person. Are you the one I will take instructions from? But you're taking instruction from Boris Johnson. You are taking instruction from Cameron. Yeah? You are taking instruction from Katrina Lang. And the worst part of it is that a little boy can come to you to tell you what to do. From other fields, you will condescendingly acquiesce. Our leader is there talking, telling you I will not buckle. Let's say Yoruba, Biafra, and Middle Belt, Fulani same. Britain, we've had enough. We are going our separate ways. We are not the same. What will Britain do? Britain will not do nothing. And when you say it with all amount of seriousness. And what you didn't understand was that when the queen died, his son, the queen's son said, all those countries that belong to the Commonwealth, you are free to go. That the Nigeria move out. You said it openly, but covertly, what was going on? What was going on in behind? I had nothing. A case in point that we simply washed off and paid not much attention to was during the election when Peter Obi, out of nowhere, it's not magic. Peter Obi out of nowhere came out like a lightning. The next thing you know, he went to Chatham House. Radio Biafra, I said, why is he going to Chatham House? Is Chatham House the people electing him or appointing him? If he goes to Chatham House, then there's problem. Yes, there was problem. Tinubu went to Chatham House. Obasanjo went to Chatham House. What is the deal with Chatham House? And you have Nigerian politicians, British born, in the British Parliament and political offices. Have they forwarded your issue? Except one. I have forgotten the name of the lady. He spoke on behalf of Biafrans. How did Britain receive it? You saw when she introduced that bill, they walked away. That would have inspired all of us. For Britain, in their political parliament, to listen to the problem of Nigeria, because it involves Biafra, they walked away. That would have given you clear-cut indication that these people don't give a damn about you. And they're here saying they're promoting democracy. Another place the brother was wrong was the sister. They came here, we came here to copy and paste American system over British system. The governmental system is American governmental system, House of Reps and Senate. That is not British, that's American. The school system is more American than Britain. But there are still aspects of British system left with us. But all that we carried and copied and carried back home cannot be implemented because the condition is not the same. It is not the same. Just like you go and uplift their diet and then infuse it in yours, it is not the same. You simply chose to copy and paste, and you are paying the price. They have convincingly changed your mind with regard to your food. Inferiority complex. I will continue to go anywhere you like and come back. It boils down to inferiority complex. That's what it is. They came here, it's still fresh in my mind. And I hold nutritionists accountable accountable for this. They told you coconut is very bad. It's gross, it's very, very bad for you. In the 70s, when Nigeria was coming up to be a giant, Walter Cronkite and the rest of them, Dan Rather, in the middle of the news, you see that coconut, don't touch it. It's filled with bad cholesterol. And if you continue to eat it within 2 days, you will die. That rang bell in the minds of our people. Nobody challenged that assertion. Why? Inferiority complex. We have nutritionists, we have doctors, we have all of them. And most of them dance to the tune they gave you. That if you eat coconut, you will die. Bad cholesterol. Now they jumped on palm kernel and palm oil. Palm oil is very, very dangerous. It's filled with cholesterol. It will block your arteries and you die. Yes, our people took up that assertion. And nobody debunked it. Yeah, they believe. Inferiority complex. Now they have attacked our economic line. Demand for coconut fell. Demand for palm oil fell. The prices went whoops. They came again. Avocado, don't eat avocado. It's not good for you. Our people agreed. They are promoting their own genetically modified dinners, and that's the one you've chosen. All of you know that heart attack is really things you hear in Nigeria. I don't say it's not there. You barely hear about it. Our forefathers ate all these things and they were healthy. All of a sudden they are telling you that cassava will kill you. It is starch, it is this, yes. But what are they eating? These people telling you these things, what are they eating? They have flour is bleached and make it white. What's in that? Nothing. 1000% starch, bleached, but they eat it. They eat it. The same rice they are talking about, they eat it. Principal dinner they have is rice. Some of them eat it afternoon and night, rice. But there are some people telling you don't eat cassava. Cassava that has fiber. And our people agreed. Inferiority complex. And the same people in the 70s, 80s, and 90s put ban on anything you're bringing. And they will tell you it has insects and all that stuff. As if they don't have the insects. Inferiority complex. All the animals you have in your forest, you have killed. How did you kill them? They need the tusks. And they pay you handsomely to go and get them and kill them. When you get through exterminating your wildlife, then you come back to them to view your animals. They have created massive acres of land, forest, where the monkeys live. They have created massive forest where the giraffes and the elephants live. But in your own, they are coming to your land to shoot them as game. You don't challenge them. Your animals are in their land, in their countries. How many of their animals are in your country? Zip, zero. Inferiority complex. Where do we go from here? Anything you bring up, it's now that we have people that have started to talk. It is not that we have started to challenge their theories that is not correct. Do you know when our people change their mind when it comes to palm oil? It was when a white man came and told them, this palm oil is the best. Then our people started using palm oil. Before, our people completely abandoned palm oil, just like they abandoned coconut. Now you make a coconut cake. Here, they make coconut cake. That same coconut that will kill you. Here, you're going to wedding, you order for coconut cake. The coconut cake that will kill you. The coconut that will block your arteries. Inferiority complex. When you talk about freedom, these are the things that make you strong, and they want to weaken your bones, and they are feeding with you pizza, hamburger, and Mr. Big. We are living their lifestyle. Inferiority complex. You are not who you are. And we came here, we saw it. We say, wow. I'm back to my dinner. I'm back to my menu. African. Now many of you are having heart issues. Things that are not common. Things that we don't normally hear. I remember in the 70s and the 60s, a white man who had heart attack because they eat junk. You are not the same junk man eating the junk. To show that you have arrived, to show that you are up in the scale. So when you're up in the ladder, you dump your food. Yeah, we have palm wine. Have we actually researched to see the benefits of palm wine? Natural yeast, that's good for you. No. It has flies. Doesn't beer have flies? If you bring a bottle of beer and open it, don't you see flies hovering around it? You bring Mr. Big here in the US. Bring McDonald's, open it up in the summer, you'll be battling with flies to eat your hamburger. Bad perception. Perception that leaves you nowhere. Inferiority complex. How does this turn back to what clip I played? Inferiority complex. When you refuse to stand for your right, when you refuse to challenge, demand, you are inferior. 250 million. 250 million of nonsense people. And when you're talking, the army is carrying gun up and down, shooting civilians. Police is every corner beating up civilians. Army is in every corner beating up civilians. And then they crown you bloody civilian. You that is killing somebody is not bloody. It is the civilian you are killing that is bloody because you blooded him. Dog eat dog. Somebody coming to you to beg for money because he's not being paid. What does he do? He attacks you. He kicks you. He abuses you in front of your children. He uses the butt of the rifle on you. You did not give him enough money. What a country. Why is he demanding the money? He's not being paid. For you to make your salary, please send me to the Biafra land. That's where they have the money. Let's meet them. You have House of Reps, members, state and national. What is their score? 0. You have senators, state and national. What is their score? 0. Now what are they doing to you? They are bringing in vigilantes. Vigilantes that kill their own brothers and sisters. A way to put you down. And you have nothing to say. Our leader is there. To criminalize you, they tell you open your phone, your IPOB. We will say your IPOB. IPOB is telling IPOB, if you don't open your wallet, we say your IPOB. It is where people that are clean are being criminalized, and their own people are helping the oppressors as well. IPOB is welcomed all over the world. It is from the source of the crimes committed that they label those that are crime-free criminals. What a country. What a continent. The dark continent. That alone will spoil you to change your behavior. I don't think people are understanding it. Maybe you come to tell me you've been bought. That was Royal Niger Company. I remember SCOA and USC. I remember Chelarams and Quelarams. Kingsway. Those were the initial people that did what they did in Nigeria. The Indians, did Britain not buy them? Are they not free? They said, no, we will not go with your principles. Nigeria refused to let go. Why? Because they're Ndibo. They make sure that if you continue to oppress Ndibo, we will be on top of the food chain. That is the principle of divide and rule. So my brother, I just want to lecture you. That's why I ask you, is it your message or is it the messenger? Most of us come to the social media to say things. There are points in what you're saying. Yeah, there are some points in what you're saying. But I brought it out in the nutshell. I did once forcing you to eat Mr. Biggs. As a matter of some of you gobble yourself to death. You have no limits as to what you eat, the quantity you eat, and how it is made. There's diabetes. It exists. You watch what you eat. It doesn't mean you won't eat Gary. It's how much. Here they eat rice, they tell you eat what you want to eat. What do? They shoot you up. What caused it in the first place? Things that wasn't existing before now exist. Average Nigerian cannot walk 3 miles. Average Nigerian cannot walk a mile. Why won't you suffer from diabetes? Things you really hear. Oh, it is civilization. And you want to go from here to next door. You're looking for keke napep. Lazy to walk and exercise and burn out those calories. No, you cannot do it. But here they are telling you got to burn the calories and you exercise. And they make the pathways. They ride the bike. Where you come from now, if you ride the bike, you are a church rat. How we inferiorize ourselves and not know what we are doing to ourselves. Who are we to blame? You don't want to be free. You want to be a slave. You want to continue to remain a slave. And they put the system in place to suffer you. When the young soldiers from Mali, Chad, Burkina Faso, Senegal, they all say, no, we can't do that. We gotta change. They changed. In your own, they say, and I still listen to some analysts from some say hunter. Look at you using the word hunter, which is a demeaning word they used to criminalize all those that are revolting against oppression. Nigeria is the Chad, the Burkina Faso hunter. Yeah, no, you don't have a hunter in yours, but they are better than you. They know what they want. They know what they stand for. They are for their people. And they want respect for their own people, for themselves. They have taken over the control of their natural resources. And now, they are not owing anybody. In your own case, you are still borrowing. Nigeria is still borrowing. Nigeria is still borrowing. And you're telling me that you have somebody in the government that is looking out for you? And you're ready for election. Mazi Iyke Peters will be with us on Wednesday, New Year Day, 1 p.m. Biafra land time. So join him. The call number is +1 484 767 0848. +1 484 767 0848. Live broadcast from Radio Biafra USA. Our people, we must learn to do things the right way. And we must learn to be proud of ourselves. We must learn to do things the proper way so that our children, generation to come, will not suffer. That's our job. Caller, your line dropped. That happens sometimes. The lines, it's like slippery, and then when it holds on, it starts going. When we look at what we do, we feel yes, we are who we are. There are many learned Biafrans. There are many learned Yoruba people, Fulani people, Middle Belt. Of what use are those things? All that we have acquired, of what use are they? Of what use? It is something that when we look at ourselves, when we assess what we do, we check and balance. Check and balances what we are doing. How beneficial is it? What we are doing, how beneficial is it to us? This should be a sort of guidance. We plan, and when we plan, we make sure that it's going to yield something. We plan, we make sure it's going to yield something. We have been planning. We have been planning. Nigeria have been planning. Nigeria have been voting. What did we get? Confusion. Confusion. It never ends. Will not end. We are not one. We are not the same. We don't have anything in common. If you don't trust your brother, how can you work with your brother? In this case, we are not brothers. We are from diverse group. Cannot trust ourselves. How in the world can you say you are one, you are forging a country that never believes in you? It's not possible and will not happen. It will not happen. The Northerners on one side are expressing dissatisfaction with regard to what is going on. Can we equally do the same thing? Express dissatisfaction with regard to what is going on. When you are dissatisfied, when the condition is not what you expect it to be, you change. You cannot continue to remain in the same problem that you cannot solve and not try to change it. This is the way we must try to see that our future is great. This is the way we must try to see that things work well. You are looking for what is wrong with us. There's nothing wrong with us. We are simply not the same people. We are simply not the same. Suspicion must be there. There's nowhere you can say this, let me point finger at this and say this is where we can build something, starting from here. But there's nowhere you can point your finger and say, let's start from here. Why must we continue to suffer ourselves? Why? This is something we have to deal with. Call your name and where you calling from. Ndewo. Ndewo.
Ayawa bagume. Chukwu kikabia manonyere n'ezinụlọ gị. Ekele oli na afọ na nkwọ. Iradikechi maka na ichara agwagwo. Were ohere a na-ekele onye ndu anyị Mazi Iyke 1 at Biafra land. There is not in the zoo called Nigeria. He is #1 leader in Biafra land we know today. Other ones are counterfeit. Other ones in Biafra land don't want us alive. Mazi Iyke Eradikechi maka na ichara agwagwo. I greet our senators, the DOS, the leader, Mazi Iyke Peters, China Sanworu, all the wise men that come to this our fight to represent us. I greet each and every one of you. I greet the media warriors, those that know what is happening in our land and stand to tell the world that they are liars. I greet each and every one of you. Biafrans all over the world, from Haiti to Jamaica, from Barbados to Tortola, Grenada, Colombia, Panama. This is where Igbo blood is. As I count it for you, we have our brothers and sisters there waiting for us to do the needful. They want to come back to Biafra land. They want to come back to Igbo land. Now they are finding their roots because of Radio Biafra. I received their message and I know they are willing to come back to Igbo land. All this country I mentioned, we have Igbo blood there, scattered all over the world, and the world know that. That is why they don't want Biafra to emerge as a nation, because they know that when Biafra come, the world will change. Our leaders say it, that Biafra is the last miracle on this earth, and we will continue to do the needful to rescue our people, because Nigeria is not a country. Nigeria is a terrorist country. Nigeria is British man-made. You have to know that all these our quagmire leaders in Biafra land, those that are keeping us suffering in Igbo land for a long time, for years, we have to do the needful IPOB to deliver our people, to free our people from this bondage called Nigeria. You see how white man reason. They tell us that what we have in our land is not good. But come here, they eat all this rubbish. They say it's good more than our own. My people think, use their common sense to know that these people don't want us alive. Look at our governors bringing those we don't know in our land. So Ludo, if I can buy, okay, what is the name of the Ebonyi State governor? We know all of them, and we have to go after them because they are our enemy. They are one Nigeria people. Any person that is supporting Nigeria is your enemy, Biafrans. Even if you are in Biafra land and you are supporting one Nigeria in Biafra land, you just count that person as your enemy. Because we are not Nigeria. Ask yourself, before Nigeria 1960, who are you? Before amalgamation 1914, who are you? Ask your father. We are not Nigeria. Nigeria never knew well since we hear a name Nigeria to Biafrans. They are only good to kill us and take over what we have in our land. And right now we say no to that. We have to fight and free ourselves from the contraction called Nigeria. We have to free ourselves, Biafrans. If you are in any part of Biafra land and you are supporting Nigeria, we will come after you because you are our problem. All these politicians that are supporting Nigeria is our problem. We have to do something. In Ibagwaka, all this planning, they come to take part of Ibagwaka, Onungwo. This is where these people turn to Alausa. Onungwo Ibagwaka, they are not calling it under the Hausa. They are not calling it Onungwo again. They are calling it in the Hausa. Hausa have taken over Ibagwaka. Ibagwaka people, wake up. We cannot stay in the stream and the soup enter our eye. This is our land. It's not a Fulani land. Let them go back where they come from. We don't need them. In Ibagwaka or the whole Nsuka, we don't need them. They will Mazalo say.
+1 484 767 0848. People that find their route they feel happy. they feel happy. But give me a second. Okay, people that want to be happy make their lives comfortable. They do things comfortable for them. That's what they bear in mind when they are doing things for the future. For the future. You prepare for your future and those of your generation to come. That's what happens. That's what people do. You prepare for the future. The Yorubas, they are correct in what they are doing. They fight for themselves. I don't see why they should fight for you, because you're not the same. They fight for what's best for them and the people of Oduduwa. The Fulanis are correct in what they're doing. They fight for what's good for the Fulanis, not for you. The space is limited. But we Biafrans, it seems like we don't understand. Of all that have happened to us, we don't stand a chance to even mention the name Nigeria. There's no reason why we should mention the name Nigeria. Nigeria doesn't exist. It's only us that know that it doesn't exist, but we say you're proud to be a Nigerian. We are trying. Our leader gave it his best shot. Our leader tried and tried and tried. Our leader called the attention of every Biafran. Our leader called the attention of every Nigerian. You are being lied to. They are not telling you the truth. Just like what is happening with President Tinubu, lying to Nigerians about him being used to invade his fellow African country. It was a shame. What a shame that we still have such people hanging around.
Chukwale bube, chukwale bube, chukwale bube ndewo. Umu Biafra kenegi chukwale bube, onyale bube papa, chukwale bube nare kene. Announcement. There will be 7 days praise and thanksgiving to Chukwu Okike Abiama by IPOB and Biafrans worldwide from Wednesday 1st to Tuesday 7th of January 2025. The theme is
Praise the Lord, my soul, and forget not all his benefits. Taken from Psalm 103, verse 2. Every Biafran is expected to go to his or her place of worship within the 7 days to thank Chukwu Okike Abiama for his loving kindness, past, present, and future towards us Biafrans. No fasting is required, for it is feast of thanksgiving to our Father Chukwu Okike Abiama. The details of the day-to-day Thanksgiving prayer points are on all our platforms on social media. We thank the Chukwu Okike Abiama Jikenine for making all things beautiful for us Biafrans in your time. He said, compiled by a call for prayer team of IPOB, represented by Evangelist Uzako Agnes Mwokike, Apostle Julia Chidema Filatro, Prophetess Flossy Ebere Ajaba, Pastor Samuel Mwokike, and Teacher Chinonye Okoli. Shalom, Umo Chineke.
Let me repeat this message because it comes up on the first. So let me repeat it.
Chukwale bube, chukwale bube, chukwale bube ndewo. Umu Biafrane kenegi chukwale bube. Onyale bube papa, chukwale bube nare kene. Announcement. There will be 7 days praise and thanksgiving to Chukwu Okike Abiama by IPOB and Biafrans worldwide from Wednesday 1st to Tuesday 7th of January 2025. The theme is Praise the Lord, my soul, and forget not all his benefits, taken from Psalm 103, verse 2. Every Biafran is expected to go to his or her place of worship within the 7 days to thank Chukwu Okike Abiama for his loving kindness, past, present, and future towards us Biafrans. No fasting is required, for it is feast of thanksgiving to our Father Chukwu Okike Abiama. The details of the day-to-day Thanksgiving prayer points are on all our platforms on social media. We thank the Chukwu Okike Abiama Jikenine for making all things beautiful for us Biafrans in your time. He said, compiled by a call for prayer team of IPOB, represented by Evangelist Uzako Agnes Mwokike, Apostle Julia Chidema Filatro, Prophetess Flossy Ebere Ajaba, Pastor Samuel Mwokike, and Teacher Chinonye Okoli. Shalom, Umo Chineke.
The call number is +1 767 0848. Live broadcast from Radio Biafra USA. Our leader Mazi Iyke is somebody. When you check what he did it for us. He's not selfish. Whatever he did is for us. Did we appreciate it? Yes, many of us are hanging on. Because he is the only person that have come out to say, this is the way things are. Many people did not know it. Many people did not realize that's the way things were. Until it dawned on them. Call out your name and where you calling from. Connection this morning is bad. Keeps failing. I don't know where it's coming from. Mazi, can you hear me now? Yeah, can you?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Our leader, the son of the Most High Chinek, he did this project, this sacrifice, because he knows he's a Biafra. He cannot sell himself. The candidate knows say him be Biafra. Every Biafra, the chicken to them, both the Congress, both those of them, both to Iyke, both to all of us will be Biafras, we get to this land. The candidate knows say we be all be Biafras. That's why he did not sell us. You see how a child of God behave. Biafra, you see how a true child of God, because I need a child, the children of the Most High. Lord of the world. Restoration that is because of all these leaders. I am abandon our identity, Biafras. To live in our own land as the owner of the land. As a free-born people with our own land on the same. Two skyscrapers, our children will come in and live. And when we return back again, we stay and pretend to take up. Kill our ancestors, carry good vision and give us a pretend. And they don't even know say they commit big offense. And up till now, when the world don't open, I pretend one still make us sleep. That I say, all Biafras anywhere you did, remember 1967. Give the economic aka. I don't want to know. One no can say can't to my mama. Then you probably try to go back. The only son of my mother. Can I try to go meet you? When I'm at the end of the river. Ebe solo wa. Anybody who watching a can walk back a bed, or go back to one. Only a couple of my that the first. Then I say, when I could have the one for on I can deal. After the tap proves to the world that we are competent. Then the particulars are now. Emergency. What are people still waiting for? What are people still waiting for? Waiting for to prepare Nigeria for which day? People doesn't know anything. Does he see ya, Papa? The money what they give you. If they give you no money. Let's try to but the one after state, let's try to watch it like I don't have like how put down, how put minute, she like it on the car, we shot. That's the one. Go about that. That's the way you must state. That's the way you must state. That's the cannot do for because they're going capital man. No man, I need a bad test, I need no man. What about that? That's the problem from about that. On our para. Official. Only that put that I never put it. Besides that, I put that on big grammar. Oh, I'm at the owner. Oh, no, I'm not know. But there is a kind of money to Kenya. You want to do Kenya to Kenya. Oh, not. The last time I can before that is up from Arizona County. I want to know the gorilla that I say for France instead they die. Messi gorilla. Make sure say I was a people. No foreign inventors for your land. You see how we prepare for the land. If we get any British tyrant here, when this war starts, now you will go first. Trump, they come. Trump, they come. You they come rule the world way full of terrorists. For Nigeria, no. From Nigeria, they invade America and destroy our land. You know. They come worship the real God. Forget Pope who knows to be God. Asan, why no money? Come carry religion, no pretend you. Rob come put here, carry for the trap for us. It is an election to the world. Then I'll send for the world. The pastor, let them go home and I get ruled. Kata yi Christian taya Persian taya Biafra Central Spirit taya. Christian was you look at the Ghana Zamana 20,000. Bemen I bought fuel 5,000. I couldn't remember that Bemen I bought Zamana 5,000. We don't know why shameless teachers of the law, false teachers of the law. Come and get away, you people. Then the journal. You saw these pastors. This is God that call themselves men of God. See where Jesus Christ put out like when they pick up Muhammad. Ni whom that and say. Let's check here now. I need to watch you this.
There we. There are religious people that are honorable, and we respect those that can stand up and speak. But it's just few of them. It's just few. The only few that can stand up and say, yes, enough is enough. We can speak for our people. We can speak. We can say what we see without fear. And when you say it, it becomes very courageous. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Mazi, from San Francisco Bay Area. We are approaching the end of 2024. A little bit more than a day to go. I think it's a good time to reflect. You will be back it. But here it's a little bit. There are two important things I would like to put on air. One, Biafrans, our freedom is enough. It does not depend on our enslaver, the British. It's in our hand. And number two, the tools to gain our freedom is available to us. It has been provided to us by Mazi Iyke. You have 102.1 FM to listen to. It is the trusted. It gives a certain spiritual energy that is hard to quantify. When you look to Radio Biafra, you will hear P-O-P-A, like the Radio Biafra, IPOB Community Radio, and so on. And they have to serve you. The DOS will let you know from time to time, turn this, turn that way. Be the eyes wherever you are. The ESN. Be the eyes of every Biafran. Part of the, excuse me, about the college. This is spiritual freedom. Listen. when we listen to the truth and we put that truth to work, we will get our freedom. Mazi Iyke said it clearly that he will use one thing and only one thing, and that thing is truth, to demolish the evil entity called Nigeria. Use that truth. Many things may be going on around you. You a Biafran, you Biafrans, you have the ability of discernment to know who is who to take advantage of your senses. IPOB is here to serve you. IPOB was not born yesterday. So if you somehow, or if you're not sure whether what position is IPOB, whether this is IPOB character, go back, reflect back, go back, and from there trace forward. You will have clear picture so that the confusion will disappear. IPOB is IPOB and it is indestructible. So enter 2025 armed with the fact that unless you continue to keep yourself bent, nobody can be on your back. That person on your back, once you strengthen your back, that person will slide off. Let's enter 2025 armed with this truth. Mazi Iyke must be freed. He committed no crime. He has been discharged and acquitted by a competent court in Nigeria. So he is being held illegally after having been really renditioned from Kenya to Nigeria. Nigeria committed all sorts of crime and in connivance with British, they're serving their slave master. We are not slaves, and we have to prove it, not to anybody, to ourselves, by what we do. Let's free ourselves. Let 2025, as we approach the end of this year, let us be armed once again with the truth that it depends on us. We are the ones who free ourselves. Make sure we continue to let the world know the truth. Mazi Iyke is being held illegally and he had to be freed. He committed no crime whatsoever. Whatsoever. Nigeria is a criminal entity that British established. Britain says that they ended slavery. If they ended slavery, what is the British doing? What is the relationship between the British and Nigeria if it's not slavery? But that is their business. Our business is to know that we have the tool and it's our responsibility to free ourselves, and we can do it. Give us the ability to understand our ability and how to apply our ability to achieve our freedom. Mazi, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
We have all it takes. We have the educated people. Call your name. Welcome. Go ahead.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning from here.
Yeah. This is Peter calling from Canada. Yeah. I thank you for your work you are doing for Biafrans. And I want to use this opportunity to say very few things according to your program this morning. One is about the man talking of British and Nigeria. After saying all those things, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has said all those things, and he cannot recognize the person who said it first. And this thing has been happening, and he knows that Nigerians is a market or a business center for British. He said the good things, but who is going to achieve it? Can he make arrangement of people who is going to achieve it? One, you see, we are ready, or he is ready, or anybody is ready to come out from British business center. But the thing is this, who is going to do it like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Who is going to come out and say it? And who is going to mobilize people to do it? That's the question. Two, my question is to the politicians of Southeast. My question there is, why the Southeast politicians and governors cannot question Asari Dokubo? Asari Dokubo has said everything about the Igbos and the East in particular, that he is operating in that area with his security, killing people. Look now, Asari Dokubo told you that he has people in Idato and Okigwe, and after 2 days, you see the army claiming that their 2 soldiers have been killed in Idato. Take 2 of these things Asari Dokubo said and what the army is claiming. The same place, the same Idato. What that thing is showing us, and the Southeastern governors and the politicians and somebody representing some people in Idato, nobody can say anything what Asari Dokubo has said about the Southeast, that he is the person, his people are killing people there. And when he said it after 2 days, the military claiming that they have the IPOB and the ESN has killed his people, 2 soldiers. And we combine 2 of these things, and the Eastern governors cannot say anything. The politicians in the East cannot say anything. They are waiting for the IPOB to come and say something. But they are the government in the land. The third one is this. How can we ask ourselves why our governors is not talking about insecurity in the Southeast? Now, insecurity is in the Southeast, and nobody in the Southeast has come out to say that this is the problem of insecurity. The reason why I'm saying this, that we have people who is contesting election. I am chairman of Igbo. I am chairman of Ndimo in the international. I am chairman of Ndibo in US. I am chairman of Ndibo in Canada. I'm chairman of Ndibo in Holland. How these people put their heads together to ask our politicians what is happening in Igbo land? Or they are chairmen of doing a Christmas party. They do this while our people is dying and they cannot put their heads together. I believe that if this very chairman in every country, even few, US, Canada, or any other 2 countries in Europe, and they call our governors, take our governors responsible and ask them to tell us what is happening in Southeast. Even if they don't do it, they will have fear on their own. So I don't see the reason why we are contesting chairman of Ndibo, chairman of Imo, chairman of Anambra. See what is happening in Anambra. And nobody from abroad can ask the governor of Anambra Soludo what is happening. They are only serving money and buying houses for politicians in abroad. And whenever you say it in the meeting, they all keep quiet. They will not say anything. You put it in their forum. They say it's truth. Nobody will respond. But immediately you put IPOB in the forum, some people will come out and say, why do you put it? So why are we contesting this president and the chairman and the and this and this in abroad, but our people is dying back home? What are we doing? Why can't we hold ourselves responsible? We can't hold Yoruba. Yoruba is making their plan. We don't know. But we are here contesting. Before I stop, Mazi Iyke, I will just greet DOS for keeping quiet about what is happening in these useless people who is criminals. They don't talk to them, let them kill themselves. Ndị Igbo sị na onye lie onwe ya ofu aka ya ga-apụta n'ilo. Ndị onye mere mmadụ ka ọ ga-eme onwe. So I am stopping here. This is the only things I want to say. I greet you so much. Thank you, Mazi Iyke.
Dewa, thank you. Thank you. The call number +1 484 767 0848. Caller, your line dropped. You reinitiate your call. Yeah, it dropped. +1 484 767 0848. Live broadcast. Radio Biafra USA. Yes, it is the behavior of our people that complicates the whole issue. Those that are supposed to speak are somewhere hiding. Caller, your name and where you calling from?
Yes, Mazi Iyke. Sorry, excuse me. Mazi Iyke, please give me a moment to shut down my listening device. It's making me. Okay, yes. Mazi Iyke, am I coming out?
We're hearing you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Good afternoon, dear friends and lovers of freedom, and good afternoon to you, our veteran Mazi Iyke. Thank you for your work. My people, listeners, my name is Ifan Chukwuma, and I'm listening you from the Netherlands. Thank you for your presentation, Mazi. I want to touch, what is happening to us in Nigeria. Before I forget, I want to ask those people who are saying they are one Nigerians, they want to be president, they want to be minister, they want to be governor for their own, parochial, gains. But that is allowed, that is permissible. But what I want them to answer in their bedroom, in their, quiet times, what will you do in Nigeria? And they will not see you as a infidel, as Arana, as Enyamere, as Omoibo. and every derogatory and the hatred and the wickedness that follows all those names. Because when we say that the reason we want Biafra is not because of hatred or dislikeness, it's because of the divergent and irreconcilable value system we have with the North and the West. We don't have the same value system with the West. It's just that we can tolerate each other more than they not tolerate us. But the West have their own value system. They worship their Abbas and so forth. And they don't like it when we say, hey, my friend, I will not kneel down to greet you. They think we are being It's just how we are. We only worship and we only kneel to God. That's who we are. So what I'm saying, in effect, is that they will never see you as an equal citizen. This has been the bane of Nigeria since 1914 until 1966 that led to the pogroms, the pogroms that continued even after the war. So it is better for us to build, our own country, and we demand it via referendum, peaceful and democratic. Everyone will go their own way. But now, let me come to one of the, symptoms of this hatred and the irreconcilability of Nigeria. Look. The chief of defense staff, General Musa, was saying that the Kukarawa or Kukuroshiwawa, those new terrorist groups that are ravaging the Northwest, the Sokoto and Yobe. Sokoto and Yobe was one stage before they carved Yobe from Sokoto. So those terrorist organization that is forming there, they say that they were coming, we have common border with the North. This is a general in the Nigerian army. We have common border with the Niger States. So they come from there. They come from across the border. They don't speak our language, our Nigerian, their language. They don't speak it. But the people, because they have the same religion, they say, they seem. An army is telling you that people who are carrying arms trooping into his country, they seem friendly. So they tolerated them until they know the place and started to kill the indigenous or the old settlers, because Fulanis are Johnny just come to Nigeria. But their wickedness and their undoing is that they don't know how to coexist. And so when they stayed some time there, they started killing the indigenous, started using their cow, because cow is their foot soldiers. They use their cows to destroy the crops of the indigenous, and that's the problem. And now, before they turn to full-blown terrorists. So, what I'm saying, why I'm making this statement is not just to repeat what General Musa said, but I'm just telling you that terrorists that are coming into Nigeria with arms are no problem. But we, the indigenous people of Biafra, a peaceful movement that demanded referendum to exit Nigeria, they are treating us like, it is a capital offense to fly Biafran flag. While people are coming with guns, automatic machine guns, coming into your country, they are friendly, they seem friendly, but your own supposedly real compatriots who own the land, they cannot fly their flag. They cannot say that they want to exit Nigeria by referendum. And of course we know that only us, only Biafrans will, free our land and our people. But the hypocrisy and inhumanity of Britain to insist in oneness of Nigeria, it stinks to high heaven, because Britain left the peaceful, democratic, welfaring, rich, civilized so-called European Union. And through Brexit referendum, Britain left EU in peace. And they have to see some manner of bilateral and multilateral relations as should be. But we, because we are black, and they are, like you said, Nigeria is their estate. They are, so zero liability company, as we say, or their estate. So we don't merit that same humanity that gives us referendum to part with a colonial construct that it is ruinous, it is unworkable, it is murderous. But you cannot leave it because we are black. But Britain will leave it very well built European Union. That is the hypocrisy. I know. Now, what I'm saying now is that we Biafrans, listen to this, because when we are crying, people, we are not wailing in crying, wailing, but when we are marshalling out our pains, people will not understand. People will say, oh, they want to live, they open eye, they want to live. But you cannot build a country with sheer force of arms. It doesn't work. It has never worked in human history. You may manage it sometime. There come a time, because power, like beauty, are transient, and especially power, economic or military, it cannot build a country with that. And I want to ask all the genocides that killed Biafrans this question before I continue. How have you treated the Biafrans since 1970, when you fought war, Basanjo, the genocidist, the one, anti-genocidist, or the rest of them? How did you treat Biafrans? How have you treated Biafrans? Because you have influence and contraction since 1970 till date. How have you treated our people? Instead, you have made our place a wasteland, uninhabitable, and our people have to go far afield to take out a living. How have you treated us? And what is your reason that you're telling us to stay in the damnation that you have been killing our people? And now listen to this. This thing I'm going to read now was said by Benjamin Adekunle. They called him Scorpion because his venom, his hatred for our people was legendary. Just hear me, and then you know why his hatred is so demonic. He said, I want to see no Red Cross. That's Benjamin Adekunle saying, listeners, bear in mind that it's not me saying, I'm quoting Benjamin Adekunle. He said, I don't want to see Red Cross. No Caritas. No World Council of Churches, no Pope, no missionary, and no United Nations delegation. He doesn't want to see United Nations delegation. I want to prevent even one Igbo from having even one piece to eat before their capitulation. He wants us to capitulate without negotiation, without even eating, talk less of negotiation. We shoot at everything that moves. And when our troops march into the center of Igbo territory, we shoot at everything, even a thing that don't move. When they get into the heart of Igbo territory, they will shoot even at things that don't move. And so said, and so they did. They killed us in our markets, in our schools, in our refugee centers, in our churches, in our hospitals. Everywhere our people moved, they killed us. And guess what? He was right. Of course, not completely, because I would be a liar if I say that Red Cross didn't come, that Caritas didn't come, that Joint Church didn't come. These people came, but you know who was absent? The United Nations was absent, because if the United Nations had appeared in action and tried to apply negotiation and humanity, even if Biafra didn't succeed as we didn't, the United Nations would have given our surrender a human face. But they didn't. So what happened was, when our people surrendered, because we did, they defeated us, they started then the killing of our cream of our society, the people that we are thinking, the engineers and the strong men, they killed all of them. because there were no negotiation. So, Biafrans, please, I'm saying please because how I feel, but it is our job, our duty to support Eastern Security Network, support our DOS, our leadership, and join IPOB. Let us restore Biafra, because we cannot continue to mourn and wonder like people without knowing why God Chukwu Gabiama have given us a paradise as a homeland, which is Biafra. God bless Biafra.
Ndewo, thank you. For all that we went through, there are people that relate to it. There are people that don't. They don't even know what happened. They feel it does not concern them. They feel it's nothing to them. But there they are suffering unnecessarily. Hatred. Born hatred. They were born with it. And they have passed it on to their children. So when is it going to end? It will be endless. It will continue until Nigeria is no more. And how is Nigeria going to end? It's by you admitting the reality that it doesn't exist. There's nothing like Nigeria. It's a business venture. Admit that and do the needful. As we speak, we round up, preparing for tomorrow. It's what we see, it's what we go through, and our job is to disseminate the information, spread it out, spell it out, and let people know. It is what it is. They have no love for you. They've never loved you, and they will not love you. Call her your name and where you calling from. Call her your name and where you calling from.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. You're on the air.
Okay, Mazi. Thank you very much, Mazi Alozie.
There were.
I sincerely appreciate the wonderful work you have been doing on this very holy platform. And before I go ahead, my name is Mazi Emmanuel. I'm calling from Paris by the special grace of Chukwu Kikabiama. I remain the Paris zonal coordinator, and I want to appreciate our people who found it deemed, who honored our annual the past annual fundraising that we had on the 28th of December, this very month of December 2024. I want to appreciate IPOB family in France and also in Paris. I sincerely appreciate the hard cause. They say, it doesn't matter what it takes, it doesn't matter how our people normally
normally like to run away from what is about to save their life. Our people don't like it. They only love to go where they have shiny things, where they have a lot of bogus stocks and a lot of things that has no meaning. They love that. But when it comes in times of something to save their life, to preserve them as a people, you will see our people running helter-skelter, trying to be more knowledgeable than our brain. But however, I say thank you to those who honored this very call, and even our special guest, the person of Mazi Austin Abanyim. I appreciate you, Mazi. You have done well. And the wife of our leader, who also came on the air last time on the BTV, I want to appreciate her too. So, Mazi, just without wasting your time, I just want to tell our people that regarding to what you said before, we found ourselves in Nigeria today. It has been highly crafted before now. And we know that it was Igbo people that helped Britain to build up this overload that is killing us today. It was we, our past ancestors. Today, we are seeing again the repeating of the same thing that happened then. It is the same thing that is playing around today. Because what is playing today is not far away from what the father of Nnamdi Azikiwe did, and also the role that Azikiwe also played. Now today, you can see Hope Uzodimma, you can see the so-called governors in our land also doing the same thing that has already almost wiped away many generations from us. And my question, because you see, Britain, as we see them, they said that they amalgamated Nigeria because of that the North are poor. These are just fallacy they concocted. Because, Mazi, you cannot tell me that for British, why can't Britain then print their money and, make the North rich? Why must they bring the South and the North together? If there were no hidden agenda, the hidden agenda there was Igbos have helped them to build their empire called Nigeria. Today, then Britain, as their normal way, betrayed the Igbos and the Biafrans. They betrayed us. And that betrayal is what Britain is still running away from today. And today, all of them now are working in group in making sure that Biafrans are totally devastated, that is destroyed completely. We are seeing other countries in Africa, at least they are functioning as a country, but they use Nigeria to who does down. They use Nigeria to cover us so that nobody will, even we that is holding, that is in Nigeria, none of our people knew our name. All of them they have bought Nigeria and been moving around with Nigeria.
without knowing that we too, the oppressed, we don't even know that our country has been collapsed into Nigeria. You see? So the enormous task that is upon us, I can tell you that the situation that Biafrans have in Nigeria, or the way Britain has free hand in Nigeria, they don't have it anywhere in the world. They don't have it. There is no, I don't even see, even the time they were in America, colonizing America, I don't think that Britain has the kind of free hand they have in Nigeria. Starting from harvesting human resources, organs, killing people, deciding who to die, who to live, everything. Putting everything that we are doing, that is in that place belongs to them. That is not hidden. That is the reason why whenever anybody or any country try to say anything about Biafra, then you see Britain running helter-skelter. And I don't know the reason why our people are still, we are loving our oppressors, our killers. That is what we have been saying. So, Mazi, we must continue this very educative programs, because it is only education that we decolonize our people. IPOB have embarked on decolonization journey. That is what I said my own observation. We have embarked on decolonization journey. It's not easy. It is a very huge task. It's not even a journey that we even end today and tomorrow. That is why when I see our people talking of let us take action, let us do this, you must first of all sanitize your brain and your mindset to know the direction that we are going. Mazi, thank you very much, Mazi Alozia. Keep on the good work, and they shall be well with all of you.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
This is where we're going to call it today. This is where we end today's program, and we'll be on the air tomorrow. We might have a short program tomorrow. Let's try to be very, very objective. And then turn it to subjective. Let's do that. What do we want? How do we want it? How are we going to accomplish it? It is our job. Nobody will do it for you. It is our job. Let's stop deceiving ourselves.
Brother Masipala, Makele Sika, Kiwele Sigero Basabo.